All right, that music is so catchy. Welcome, everybody. This is the Seas for Cthulhu, the night before Christmas live stream party. I am joined here with Jason Charamella, Joshua James, and I am Tyler James, and I will be sort of your host and MC for this. So we want to welcome everybody that watches us live and everybody that checks out the replay because we're excited to spend some time. The plan for this presentation tonight, as you can see over here. We'll load this up for you. But what we're going to be doing during this live stream is you're going to get a chance to meet the creators and the team behind The Night Before Christmas, the Seas for Cthulhu Holiday Tale. We're going to have some time to just celebrate our amazing backers who have helped us once again raise over $65,000 for this new book with a little over a day to go still. We're going to answer some backer submitted questions and also give out bonus prizes because we love giving out bonus prizes during these. Just as a quick reminder, there is really just 1 day left to get in on to get the book on Kickstarter. You can do that by going to xmas.seasforcthulhu.com, or you can go to Kickstarter and plug us in, and you will find us because we're near the top of the charts, and we're definitely hoping to make this another great book to get out there. Let's start by introducing the fine people that we have here with me. I am tonight's moderator. I'm Tyler James. I'm the publisher of Comics Tribe and Seas for Cthulhu books. I also host a podcast about Kickstarter and crowdfunding and just starting your creative careers, which is called Comics Launch. So it's great to be here. I am joined by Jason Charamella, who's the writer of Seas for Cthulhu, Sweet Dreams Cthulhu, Counting Colors in Cthulhu, and the new holiday board book. He's an author, a screenwriter, and brand developer for major pop culture properties. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. And we are joined once again by illustrator extraordinaire Joshua James. Josh brings 20 plus years of experience in children's publishing, and he is a graduate of the Joe Kubert School of Cartooning and Graphic Arts. How you doing, Josh?
Doing real good. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Great to see you guys again.
Yep. Jason and I were lucky enough to just see another page dropped, a new page from the book dropped in from Josh, who is about 90% done with the book, and they're looking great from what you've been able to see so far. And well, who knows? We may even have more teasers for you as in this broadcast. Again, like Jason, do you just want to, for anyone that hasn't had a chance to get over to the Kickstarter yet or check it out, what can you tell the people about this new book?
Well, it's a retelling of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, a classic Christmas poem, retold with our characters, that we introduced back in the first Seas for Cthulhu. Just kind of expanding on the story and, adding more depth to our characters and hopefully giving our fans and readers something that they can add to their Christmas tradition.
Absolutely. And I'd have to double check and compare it to Seas for Cthulhu, but in terms of word count and total number of illustrations, this one is definitely up there. Yeah. And Josh has been doing a great job bringing this thing to life. So we're really excited about this, and this is also giving us a chance to bring back and improve our Santa Cthulhu plush toys. So I actually have I've got the new suits, got the new suits in the house, and so I've been having fun dressing our various plush toys. The first time we offered these, we really just had the suits were like they came sewed onto the Cthulhus, but we had a lot of fans that asked us to like, hey, I want to dress up my purple, I want to dress up my black Cthulhu, I want to dress up my red Cthulhu, etc. And so this time around, we made some improvements to the suits, and they're mix and matchable, and you can dress any and all of your plush toys if you so desire. So that's one of the sort of cool additional things that you can get on this campaign. All right. One thing that I promised that we're going to do during this broadcast is we're going to do a bonus giveaway. We asked our backers to submit questions or comments for this broadcast, for the purposes of this broadcast. And so throughout this broadcast, we're going to be doing giveaways. And so why not kick this thing off right with by spinning the wheel to win? We've populated this with all of our backers. I'm going to shuffle this a few times. All the backers that submitted comments or questions for this broadcast, and let's pick one. This first winner is going to win a copy of our beloved coloring book added to their pledge. Yeah. All right. So Tara May
Jackson.
Congrats, Tara.
Thank you, Tara May. Tara May's she's a longtime backer. You'll probably recognize her name from many previous campaigns. So it's always great to see them get rewarded when we do these.
Definitely.
All right, we're gonna have a lot more things to give out during this broadcast, but I want to get into the questions, and so I've fielded and broken up these questions along some topical lines here, and so the first batch of questions are around inspiration around this book and creative process. So I'm excited to dive into these and ask Jason and Josh some of these questions. So this first one is really for Jason. It's from Craig Hines. He asked, do you recall what the initial inspiration for C is for Cthulhu was, like that made you think it was an idea that absolutely had to make happen? He's a longtime supporter and happy to see it's still going strong and for all the support we have for these projects over the years. So Jason, take us back.
Craig, first of all, thank you for all your support. It means so much to us. We really appreciate it. The initial inspiration came basically just being a dad myself and wishing that there had been a book like this. I was already published at the time, so I was confident that if I could come up with a concept that probably, we could get this book made. But really, it all stemmed from, I felt like there were more people like me who would like to have something like this in their lives to share with their kids. That was the main inspiration. And then from there, my kind of love of the visuals from the mythos and everything that Lovecraft had created, it just seemed like a perfect match. So
yeah, and this was the kind of thing I think, back when we first started talking about this, it must have been 2012, 2013 at a convention or something. That we first started talking about the possibility of this project. And I think even back at that time, there wasn't this sort of brand of children's books that adults were also buying because they recognize the irony and the fun mashup of something that is traditionally not very much for kids, but finding a take and an approach to it. So it's definitely, I think, blew us both away that even though we thought that this would be something that there would be a market for, the enduring nature of it and the fact that it's still like, I think, the Cthulhu books are selling as well last year as they were the first year they came out. And it's pretty great.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice, like, again, supporters like Craig and people who've been around since the beginning. And, it's great to be part of a creative team that keeps putting out books like this that people are enjoying and sharing with their families and, year after year, just growing. It's awesome.
Absolutely. J.J. Seymour writes, what are your favorite characters and what advice would you have to give inspiring authors? And then what drove you to this mythical creature for, I believe, Cthulhu as the main character for the series? Thoughts on that, Jay?
So I love, as far as favorite characters, the obvious answer is Cthulhu. Secondary, I think, would be Pastor. But I really love the way that Greg and Joshua have illustrated the relationship between Cthulhu and Howard. It's so heartwarming, and my favorite thing about the book is their interactions about any of the books that we've done. And I chose this character because I had kind of a fascination with the Lovecraft mythos, and I just thought that this big green, horrifying, mind twisting creature could be something that was kind of cutified and brought into a space that wouldn't terrify children and could actually be fun and cuddly and recognizable, for little kids. So that was the main reason behind that choice.
Yeah.
As far as advice to aspiring writers, just write. That's all I can tell you is just write, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there and take feedback and criticism, learn from it, but just keep putting yourself out there. Just keep writing.
Yeah.
Read, whatever it is that you're interested in writing, read those things and see what other professionals are doing. Compare your stuff to theirs, and learn from it.
Yeah. Anything to add to that advice for authors? I know you do write yourself as well, Josh. So
I have to agree totally. I mean, it's pretty much just like drawing. Everybody asks, how do I get better at this? Just sit there and do it constantly. And pretty much was the entire setup of the Joe Kubert School when I went there, is just sit at your desk, knock out one image, do another one, find out, talk to people, see what they got to say, what they like, don't like about what you did, and revise your work and do it all over again.
Yeah,
it's the more time you're at the desk, the better you get. So
definitely, I will add to that. I believe the difference being that I don't think that you can learn to draw well if you don't have inherent talent. Or I do believe that writing is a craft that you can get better at. Like, I think you can teach someone to write, but teaching someone to draw, like artists, it blow my mind, because I just look at what artists do and I'm like, I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to draw comics when I was a kid, but no matter how much I tried, I couldn't do it, but writing is, I think it's, a lot of people consider it a craft that you can hone, and you can learn it. There are rules to it that don't require what I think are like kind of God-given skills, just blessed, like
I think there's
talent.
I think there's something to that, but there's also like the ability to be bad at something and love it, but still love it enough to get good at it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I think about, all the time that goes into doing the kind of art that Josh does, or even writing is like, you've got to write a lot of bad pages before you start getting stuff that is good. And some people have that, and some people are like, you know what, I'm going to do something else.
Yeah. And so much of both of them is all about creativity. I mean, honestly, I think the main thing with any of these skills, whether it's drawing or writing or, engineering, the creativity to just try stuff. Like a lot of times I think people get scared to just do whatever. Don't worry about what anybody's going to say. Just do it. And, you'll find you can pick and choose the good out of it and everything. And there's definitely always going to be somebody that's got some just amazing skills that no matter how hard you try, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how Bernie writes and does this kind of pen work. It's amazing. I feel like I'll never be able to do that, but you will find your niche and do what you do well. So I think it's just a matter of building up what you do best.
Totally agree.
Your thing.
Nice. Grant says he's a big fan of they're a big fan of Tutu at this house. My daughter loves your books. Yeah, I love how no two toddler pronounces Cthulhu the same. You know, my boy has his name is Cullen, and of course he has trouble saying his L's. So, so of course a book like Cthulhu is, you know, really the tongue twister he needs for speech. But yeah,
I'm with them. I can't pronounce half the names in the book.
Yeah. So Jason answered the Cthulhu's number one with a bullet. But what's your favorite character that you've gotten to draw in here, Josh? Now that you've done a couple books with us,
I'm gonna have to say my favorite is still the Shuggoth. Has always been my favorite. But what is his name? Pete's not going to be able to think of it. What is his name? That Dagon or whatever his name is. He looks like a sea serpent almost. I had a lot of fun with him in this book because since he's kind of snake-like, it was able to just have him kind of whipping all over and his jaw twist in different directions and stuff. He was fun to do. Plus, I like any of the characters that have a ton of eyeballs all over the place on them for some reason. It just get to do all kinds of fun expressions and stuff with them. Yeah. So he's still my favorite, although Cthulhu is close second right in there because he's just awesome.
Absolutely. And the second question was when and how did you become aware of and start getting into the Cthulhu mythos? Jason, what was your discovery story?
I was young. I was a young adult. Not a child. I think 22, and I worked with a gentleman who had a copy of a Lovecraft collection, and on our lunch break I went over to the library and I took a similar collection that had Call of Cthulhu. It had Mountains of Madness and a couple of other stories in it, and I just really fell for it. That was so basically a guy at work.
Yeah, guy at work.
When I was 22.
How about you, Josh?
Actually, I have not. I listen to pretty much all my books since I'm drawing all the time. Audiobooks are the way I get everything. I've listened to a couple, the Mountains of Madness and stuff, but I actually just purchased off there. It is basically the complete collection. It's like 51 hours of Lovecraft stories. So I plan on listening to that over the summer and kind of getting a feel for what books I really like out of there and everything. But most of my introduction to Lovecraft has been from other people taking his monsters and stories and converting them kind of like this book. I mean, not as cute, but making their own stories and stuff, like Neil Gaiman and Larry Carrera and all them, who have taken all these characters and twisted them into their own storylines and made their own plots off them while keeping the backstory.
Yeah. And I'll admit it really wasn't until Jason pitched me this idea way back when of the initial board book that I had even been aware that this whole world existed. And I think that may actually be part of the reason why there's such a fan base, is because it does seem like it's kind of like, I don't know, a game of tag, or where people pass on the love here to this stuff, because it's clearly stuff that's not for everybody, but if it's for you, it's for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
all right, question from Michelle. Michelle asks, are there plans to expand beyond the Lovecraftian lore? I'd love to see your take on other cryptids, myths, and folklore. Now, I want to actually ask some of our live viewers or people checking out the replay, like, what other lore, what's like your favorite lore, and what would you like to see the team of Jason and Josh tackle if outside of the Lovecraftian mythos? And then my question would go to maybe Jason and Josh, like, is there other famous sort of lore or IP or myths or folklore that you've always wanted to, maybe we'll start with Josh, like what would you like to draw? Like, is there stuff that you've always like, or maybe you've you've done some sketches in your own time and would love to flesh out more? Like, I'm curious what else kind of
with
stuff
lore and stuff. I guess actually some of the would be kind of cool to do more localized like creatures and stuff, like New Jersey Devil, like these kind of monster stories that you hear that are like kind of like spook-like kind of stuff, like ghost stories that could actually tie to locations nearby, you know, for the people in different areas could relate to directly. Like, hey, yeah, that's our town. We supposedly have a sea monster in the lake, kind of deal. So that would be kind of cool. I'd also like to some of the like stories of taking like the different mythology and gods and stuff and doing stuff would be fun too, just because it's always interesting. I've always liked mythology.
Yeah. How about you, Jay?
We got to do C is for Conan, the Hyborian alphabet.
That would be awesome.
That's what we should do. That'd be a great one. That's a lot of fun. I'd love to see Josh's version of Conan.
Yeah.
Nice little plump, chubby, young Conan. It'd be fun.
That would be awesome.
Nice. All right. Time for another bonus giveaway. This time, the winner will get their choice of one of our baby plush toys. Now available because of our backers of this awesome campaign. We unlocked a red baby plush for the first time during this launch. So
it look great with the Santa suit too.
I'm gonna shuffle again, and here we go. So Tara May won the last one, and I forgot to remove her. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give Tara May her choice of the two prizes, whether she wants the coloring book or this one. But I am gonna pick another one.
I mean, what
I just removed Tara May for the next bit.
What?
Yeah, 1 in 62.
There's a lot of people on this list.
I think she has an inside track here.
I know. That's funny.
Wow.
All right, this one, Craig Hines.
Hey, Craig, with the question. Good
Awesome.
question. Glad you won.
Yeah, good question. Thank you for submitting it. All right, we're going to get back to questions. And now in this section, what's next?
I'm just curious, did I see that if we hit our next spot that we're doing another concept for the plushies? Is it going to be the Shugget? Is that what we're shooting for?
So it's 70K. 70K is the next big unlock because we just unlocked a fridge magnet that's going to go in with our signature bundle. So I'm excited about that. And now 70K, sort of the next big milestone. And if we get there, we're gonna green light the Shugget as well. So
come on, people, you got to do it. I want to see this thing.
Yeah, those backers, they're out there. They are out there. Next couple of questions, we're going to talk creative process. And this one is for Josh. When illustrating a new book, do you storyboard the entire book and finalize the ideas before beginning the full illustration on any page? Or do you start out with rough general ideas and work from there? I actually pulled up and I have some images that I can show in terms of this process.
Okay.
But
yeah, that'd be great.
What's your preferred way to work, Josh? Just as someone that's been, professional.
Actually, really similar to what we do here all the time. I like going in since I draw right in Illustrator. I like just doing my thumbnails in there, just real loose, small, sketches to kind of break down the layout, make sure we're headed in the right direction. And then long as everything's working for the storytelling, then going in and doing tighter sketches, basically just blowing them up and cleaning everything up, getting all the basic details in there. And then after that, do a tight line art, which since I'm drawing in Illustrator really ends up being like inks when I'm done, so that we can use for coloring books or whatever. And then with this book, since I was painting it, I actually import my drawings into Photoshop, and I then just paint in there on my Cintiq. So I'm just drawing on the screen and just paint the images up. The one thing I did like is that A few versions back on Photoshop, they changed it up where you could now paste in your Illustrator files and it'll paste it as layers instead of grouping it all in chunks, which made it really nice because I actually flat colored all these pages in Illustrator and then just plopped them into Photoshop so that the flat colors were all there and I could just start painting right over top of my images. And it made it easier when we needed like the deep one jumping at you. He was already on a layer since he was already, it was already cut up. So all I had to do was take that chunk out and we could use it for whatever. So
that's
my normal process.
Nice. So I'm going to show, just since for those of you watching the video, we can show and tell this, but Jason actually surprised us a couple of years ago when we were in the middle of doing a launch for the first version of the Santa plush. With he did the poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," and so he wrote that out as a poem. And then when we decided, hey, you know what, this really should be the next board book after the success of Counting Colors and Cthulhu. Jason sort of then took the next step to go from, okay, here's a poem, but this is sort of a full artist-ready script. And for those of you that have never seen like a comic script or a board book script, usually it's page, it's description, it's the copy or the dialogue, so that Josh has something to work with. But
which is always really nice because there's you're dealing with somebody who knows what they're doing when they got the page broke down and they actually have the dialogues all there and it's not on a napkin or something. You're like, yes, again, this is going to be perfect.
That is,
it was awesome.
I'm curious, Jason, so you had this poem and you were obviously, writing the poem and doing it to the cadence and to the scheme of the original, The Night Before Christmas poem. Did you have just were you seeing it visually in your head, pretty much exactly as it was when you were writing the poem, and then this was just a translation exercise, or was there another thing of, okay, how am I going to flesh this out a little bit more and break it down
definitely.
to visuals?
I mean, taking it from being a poem into a complete experience, visually. It was tricky. Keeping the rhyming scheme with it took some creative thinking. Adding the dog, which ended up being such an adorable little addition, was basically a solve for a rhyming scheme. And but I love it. It worked out. But yeah, this was a challenge to take the original poem and to translate it into a fully fleshed out book.
Yeah. And so if you were one of our backers from a couple of years ago for that campaign, there will be a few small tweaks and adjustments to what was the first write up here, but I think you're going to agree that they're all for the positive. And so the process that then we sort of go through as a team is Josh takes that full script from Jason and then does a thumbnail pass where he's basically tries to lays out the entire book in very rough. I mean, but what's nice about this is, as Josh mentioned, is once those sort of very rough thumbs are approved, well, it's just a matter of then now building up from that page and that file there. And usually it's at this stage where we're trying to see how things flow from one page to the next, giving feedback if there are other ideas or things that we wanted to sort of add. It's at the detail where we can see what Josh is going for, but not so much that there can't be adjustments made. And something that we've always done is tried to get our audience to participate and give us some feedback along the way. And so, we had shown, you'll see on the left side here, we had shown the 4 mock-ups for potential covers that Josh had come up with, and we asked our audience and we polled our audience, and thumbnail number 2 is the one that they selected, and that's the one that we ended up going with. So good eyes for our fan base.
Yeah, I have a secret group of people that I run these concepts through just for opinions. You know, people that I trust in the industry. You know, like what would you guys pick? It was unanimous too. It's the first time that it ever been.
Yeah.
Everybody said that is a home run, and
Awesome.
I love that cover so much.
Yeah, it pops.
That's awesome.
And then so after the thumbs and rough stage, Josh actually does the entire book in line art form. So this is sort of detailed line art. And this time, Josh also did like a first pass at laying down the letters to make sure that you'd have the room for everything, because there's nothing a professional artist likes to do more than draw stuff that's just going to get covered up, right?
Yeah, it definitely, since the script was there, had the copy all good to go. I knew what I was dealing with. It was nice to just drop it in and then work around it and actually make it work with the layout instead of trying to fit it in later. That's always nice to be able to be like that lower right hand shot of Howard hugging him. It just worked perfect to drop it on the fuzz trim of his hat on there to make the type fit in and stuff. So that worked out really well. And again, yeah, then you're not painting up this great area and then it just all gets covered up like with a word balloon or something. You're like, oh dang, that was an amazing window I put there, and it's just gone.
Yeah. And then after the line art stage, there's as Josh mentioned, the color stage or the digital painting stage. And this is the stage that takes the most time, right, Josh?
Yeah. This takes me a bit. I'd say on most of these, it's running around probably about 8 hours. I spend painting on them. Some longer. You can usually tell. You can tell the ones that are like, oh yeah, that probably didn't take that long to do. And then like that one on the right there, I'm like, wow, I had to put them all in there, didn't I? Every single one had to be in there. So
That's great.
Yeah, that sometimes that, you know, that those definitely would take a little bit longer. Honestly, in both of the books I've done, the page that took me the longest was the first page of both books, which were also the first page I did of each of them. And it's just because it's a scene, and there's usually, you're setting the stage. You want to get the idea of this environment, and there's always lots of stuff, and all the little details end up just taking a lot of time. So both those pages were probably some of the longest pages to do out of all of them.
Yeah, but they're coming out great, and we're excited about it. So this is a question: how did you come up with some of the visualizations for HP's beings, and when designing eldritch abominations and creatures that are beyond human comprehension, how did you decide what they should look like? And for this, I wanted to sort of throw back and give a shout out to Greg Murphy, who is the artist on C is for Cthulhu and Sweet Dreams Cthulhu, and really got this whole thing off the ground with Jason and myself. And one of the things that just to say that Greg did was he spent a lot of time for each of the letters of the alphabet almost doing different versions and coming up with illustrations just like this. And we did a lot of polling of our audiences. Like we tried to early on from the get-go to build interest and to get people involved. Like we polled them. And so this right here is sort of like the earliest iteration of what would become our C is for Cthulhu. And you can see differences there. But yeah, Greg, for a lot of these, spent a lot of time just doing different options. And we ended up, seeing what the audience responded to, what we as a team responded to, and tried to find that right mix of not too creepy, not too scary, not too what you would see if you Googled it, but also still familiar. But I know on this new one, Josh, you had the opportunity to do a little design for characters that weren't in the original alphabet book. And so just what was your sort of approach?
Well, definitely big shoes to fill because Greg's stuff is just amazing. It is. It was definitely intimidating coming in, especially on the last book, and I loved the stuff that he did on the other books. So it had me nervous coming in, but with these, taking a lot of just the trying to get the feel that he had going because they were awesome, and also pulling in some of the stuff that I like to do. Like I said, I can't pronounce the guy's name on the right, but yeah,
That's a tough one.
um, with him, I was looking at just concepts and different things that people have put out on the internet of that character, just get a feel for what's out there, and it's what you expect. It was just amazing, but wicked as can be. But there were some shots of this thing that had kind of this stretched out tail neck thing, like it didn't have a head; it just came off the top of its head.
Mm-hmm.
And I was picturing it with that, but kind of these rubber nubby things, almost like a mold injection coming off of it, and no legs, just these arms that it walked on that looked like feet basically, and kind of a armored chin coming off the bottom, and then tried to make him fun at the same time and cute. So that's kind of where that guy came from. And the other guy actually, Greg had a concept sketch for him, I think, and I just kind of built off of what he originally had as a pitch idea of the character in one of his black and white sketches that I got to see. So,
nice.
But yeah, it was fun making them up.
They're awesome.
So this one was from Sugar Bear. He asked,
Sugar Bear.
I'm always curious how you selected what you used for the letters in the original book. Was there any difficulties with what you wanted to use for each letter? Is there anything you wished you would have used or could have used or changed if you could have? Been a project of every project. Children absolutely loved everything. Hope you can continue to make stuff for a long time and super excited about Haster. So Jason, do you remember any yay, ABC book? Oh wait, that means I have to get every single letter of the alphabet. I think there was X was tough, right?
There were a few.
Yeah.
Sugar Bear, thank you for your support through the years. We really appreciate it. There were definitely a few that looking back, I would have done differently. Actually, if anybody has access to the French edition of Seas for Cthulhu, they've made a couple of swaps that, here we are.
Yeah. Why were there different ones? I was
had no idea that he had this slide next. I really had no idea.
That's teamwork right there.
Yeah. So a couple of these definitely, like the Dagon I would have used, the cats I would have used. But yeah, there were a few. I think one from the first book, we ended up doing a location, and we did Fear for F, which is very connected to the mythos and to Lovecraft. It's a term that is really connected with him. So that works, but I'm not sure. Looking back, I don't know if I would have used Fear again. So yeah, definitely there were a couple that if I had to do it again, I would make it rhyme, and I would change a handful of them.
Yeah, the rhyming is the
Seas for Cthulhu 2.0.
Yeah.
Or redo. We need to do it. It's got to happen.
Yeah, we can the expanded Treasury edition or something.
Yeah, oversized.
But yeah, that is sort of like the number one negative feedback we get is that I expected it to rhyme. That's number one, and number two is I can't pronounce these words.
Yeah,
and you're making me look dumb in front of my kids.
I did not. I
need to
regret it every day that it doesn't rhyme.
We've tried to rectify that with the last two books, which both have an awesome, delightful rhyming scheme.
Yeah.
Morgan said, how do you decide which topic to work on next, or do you already have more planned? I love the books, and my son adores his momos or monsters. How do we decide? How do we decide what to do, Jay?
I think collectively, throughout the year, we kind of throw ideas and concepts back and forth. We always have something kind of dwindling that, not dwindling, something that's kind of dangling there that we're thinking about doing, we want to do. I think I am sometimes lazy, and so and should just write things and get them done, and to kind of get projects moving. But I think that as a team, we do a pretty good job of choosing these projects, especially the books, and what we're going to do. I think I'm really happy with all of them.
Yeah, and I mean, I've said it a bunch already, but we try to survey our audience at least once a year, and one of the questions I always try to ask is, what else do you want to see from us? And when something comes up enough, and when something comes up and we talk about it, and then it becomes the kind of thing that starts sparking an idea, and we get really excited about it. So much of what we've produced over the years has come from suggestions from the audience. So keep them coming, even if they're crazy, and some of them are crazy. But keep them coming. I just saw someone watching live, Lucas, watching over on YouTube, said, any chance we can get full-size images of the French exclusive pages, possibly a digital download with the Xmas book? Actually, Lucas, if you're getting one of the categories or one of the pledge levels that includes the C is for Cthulhu digital download, then you will actually get in the back of the digital deluxe updated version, which actually has the French pages included in that. So it's sort of like in the bonus section in the back of that. So yeah, you will get them if you're a backer. Here's one, just all creators have to deal with this. How do you deal with negative feedback?
I cry a lot. I just try not to take it personal. There's always going to be somebody out there who's just, if the feedback is negative and it has good reasoning behind it, I am fine with that. I like to, they're pointing something out. I've had stuff pointed out before, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. I should change that. But if it's just internet anger kind of stuff, that's best that I just kind of try not to respond to it, because it just seems to get worse.
Yeah, same. I'm barely on any social media anymore, so I don't even see any comments. But I take, I write for a living. I have, people that I am responsible to provide, ideas and copy to, and feedback is such a big part of it. And a fair amount of the time it's negative. you gotta go back and you gotta try again, but it's part of it. Never bothers me.
I think it really
depends. They're hilarious. Like sometimes that's fun. If they're just the feedback's so bad that it's funny, those are good moments.
It really depends who it's coming from. Like if it's coming from a boss, or if it's coming from someone that you are contractually obligated to be in a relationship with, that's one thing. But when it's coming from the internet, like there's a great quote that I've heard that's like basically, and it's so true. It's like, you will almost never be criticized by someone who is doing more than you. You will almost that negative criticism and hate almost always comes from someone who is doing less and is coming from a place of, who knows where it's coming from, but why, why should you be listening to someone that is out, that has the time to go out of their day to try to ruin someone else's, like, just,
you suck, Chernobyl. These books suck.
Well, and like you said, it definitely matters who it's coming from, because there are, like, honestly, this book has been great for this, and this comes up every so often. But when one of my buddies from college, Kevin Myers, who's an illustrator, we were roommates in college, and my third year at Kubert, I did this project for Joe Kubert, and in it, for some reason I decided to paint. It had a giant mushroom cloud. I did it in magenta, this bright magenta. He did not like it. Joe was fine with it, but Kevin didn't like it. So anytime I did anything that he didn't care for, he goes, "Oh, that's magenta sky right there. That's pretty rough," which is awesome with this book because I got so much magenta sky in this book. So I'm like, hey,
funny.
check this out.
Love it.
Take that.
That's
yeah.
right.
While we were rocking, just another giveaway winner. This is a winner of our wrapping paper, Ira Taraday. So congrats to Ira. Getting some wrapping paper to wrap up these goodies.
Very nice. It's great wrapping paper. It's very thick, high quality. Awesome. It just looks so. All of it, every one of them looks so good. They're awesome for wrapping books.
Yeah, they really do make it pop, which I love, and they come with the little tags too, which I'm always in need of when you're doing your wrapping. Awesome. So we have just a little section on feedback from our fans. I want to shout out and thank Sarah Dyer. I got the first book for my first daughter, born in 2012, and the next two books for my second daughter in 2018. We've read them 100 times, and they just love the rainbow and glow in the dark plushies we have. Thank you for creating such fun stories and arts for kids based on Lovecraft.
10 years. Have we been doing this for 10 years?
Coming up on it, my friend.
Was it 2012 or 2013?
First launch was 2014, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
it doesn't make me feel quite as old.
Maybe the first book, like digitally, might have been out a little before that, but yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, not quite a decade. Coming up though, this is the 10th launch, the 10th Kickstarter. This one from Lori Jones says, "My 2-year-old daughter knows all her colors now, thanks to the last book.
Awesome.
She sleeps with her rainbow Cthulhu every night, and I'm hoping Santa Claus Cthulhu will help her fear of Santa Claus a little this year."
I hope so.
Love this one from Jamais Culp. She wrote, "I wanted to share a story about how C is for Cthulhu has helped me in my professional life. I work as an infant and early childhood mental health consultant, and my rainbow baby Cthulhu plush was one of the toys I had in my office. I had one particularly difficult to manage kid I worked with, and the second time he was in my office, he asked about the plush. So thank you, C is for Cthulhu, for giving me an opening with this kid. Sometimes you have to bond over the weird."
Oh, that's awesome. That really warms my heart. I love hearing that.
All right, we got a lot of product questions, so hopefully we'll rip through a few of these. Will there be a C is for Cthulhu Christmas ornament for our tree as an add-on? Actually, yes, there is. We're doing a limited edition cast silver. First time we're offering something like this, but it's a cast silver ornament that'll be for your pledge. It's plus 25 to any pledge, and yeah, it's available right now and included in some of the pledge levels, like the collector's box, and there's also a pledge level that'll get you that. So yeah, go ahead and grab them, and I think that is actually right now our most popular add-on. So a lot of people are jumping for that.
Oh, nice.
What a wonderful Christmas surprise, because I didn't even know that we were going to be offering that. So I can't wait to get this on my tree. It's incredible.
Every time we do a launch, I'm always like, what's something I've wanted to do or wanted to mess around with, and we'll try it out and we'll see how it goes. But ornaments with the holiday theme, I mean, how could we not?
Yeah, I can't wait to have one of those. That's amazing.
So this was the most asked question by a mile. So Kevin Johnson asked, have you considered creating more holiday themed costumes for the plushies? What about Halloween themed book or other holiday books, Halloween, Easter? Joanna wants to buy a chocolate Cthulhu on Easter.
What about
Valentine's Day books, etc.
A witch costume? That would be adorable. A witch hat and a black cape would be so cool.
Yeah. So the question that we'll ask our folks that are tuning in live or checking the replay: what other holiday books or costumes for the Cthulhu plush toys would you like most to see us make? What comes to your mind, Josh? Any holidays that you think deserve a board book?
Honestly, after doing the page I'm working on right now, I would, in the Haster coming up that they're concepting. I would really like to see him in the pink bunny suit that from Christmas Story, because he's perfect for it.
That's hilarious.
Great. Yeah, a lot of I mean, Halloween does seem like a no-brainer, right? A Seas for Cthulhu Halloween book kind of seems like
we could do
you know,
a costume 3-pack. You do 3
would be
costumes for the plushies.
oh, that
Be a witch, a fun pumpkin, and a skeleton or a vampire.
Yeah,
just do all the classics.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I already see the launch coming together, folks. But keep those ideas just coming. Dennis wrote a little earlier. He said, an idea just popped in my head. Any chance for a Mrs. Cthulhu clause for next Christmas? In the mythos, Cthulhu has kids.
Dennis, a big fan of G.I. Joe, I would imagine.
That's Dennis.
Knows the Kung Fu grip.
We got something for Dennis. So just you wait. Just you wait, Dennis. We got you. We got you coming up. So this is a question. In the first book, Seas for Cthulhu, it says, Seas for Cthulhu in his house in Relier, Red Cthulhu waits dreaming. I thought perhaps we were avoiding the word dead for the kids. However, the Necronomicon is referred to as the Book of the Dead. Was this an intentional choice? If so, what was the reason?
This is one of my favorite stories about the early days of Seas for Cthulhu. So Greg didn't know that Cthulhu had to be green. And so, or he didn't think that it was necessary that he was green. So he made him red. And I loved it so much that I didn't want it to change. And it's so strange that, his page in the book, he's red. And it just kind of made it ours. And I loved it. So I changed the copy to read Red Cthulhu Waits Dreaming instead of Dead Cthulhu Waits Dreaming. Thankfully, it rhymes. Yeah. It's just one of those things that it was too perfect to change, even though I'm sure so many people bought the book and saw it and thought like, whoa, what's happening here? Yeah. But I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah. But if you knew your Lovecraft and if you knew your stuff, you caught the play on words there. With the red and so it does seem like intentional, but it is kind of funny. I mean, I remember Greg saying, I wanted to come up with something that visually like stood out from all of the other Cthulhus that were out there. And so that was a part of it. But I think we can actually also thank that just sort of like twist of fate and that we rolled with it, with the fact that there are variant colored plush toys at all. I don't think if we had made Cthulhu green the whole time, we probably would have done the one green Cthulhu and not done it. And the red Cthulhu was actually the very first variant plush color that we offered because we had them in the book. And people and that was because our fans were offering from them. And so red is actually, it was the first variant we offered. It's the first one that we sold out of. It's been sold out, I think, since about 2016, 2017. So for several years now. And so we're excited because, we were able to bring back a baby red for the first time. And if we can get to 75K, which is an outside shot right now, but we'll see. There's still a couple hundred past backers that haven't yet jumped back in. If we can get some of those folks back, 75K is possible. We'll do another round of the 12-inch reds as well. So something to keep striving for. But yeah, kind of a funny, cosmic accident that resulted in a lot of really good stuff. And so all of the other plush toys can probably owe to that just little, Greg doing his thing. Cool. Some other questions about other books ideas. Brittany's asking about books centered around the Witch House or Miskatonic University. Ira Teraday wants a Haster book. And Ryan would love to see a King in Yellow, a version of King in Yellow featuring Haster. Thoughts, Jay, on any other areas of the Seas for Cthulhu ground that we've laid that you might like to explore in the future?
I could see Haster spinning off especially if we end up doing a plush at some point.
Mm.
I could definitely see him being a silent character in his own, line of books. Miskatonic and Witch House, they're going to show up. They'll be in future books as settings for sure.
We may have to go out right now and claim Miskatonic Elementary. if that doesn't already exist. Maybe it already exists, but I don't know. I feel like that's right in our lane there, Jay.
Yeah, seriously.
Awesome. And Ryan voted for Shoggoth, and his girls are all about that. Because his girls voted for it. So hey, we're very close now, Ryan. Hopefully we can get it done for a plush toy. Maureen asks and Diana asks, books for older kids. Have we considered it, and what's the timeline look like? Dianika's not saying it's a choice. It's like, what's the timeline looking? When's it coming? It's something that we've definitely had a lot of folks ask for. It's just it's kind of bandwidth, right? It's a lot to do this other older stuff. But I'm curious, just any thoughts or anything you want to share on that outfit or on that, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've been talking about doing this for years, and I've, started concepts, everything from choose your own adventure to, early reader books, and just never really followed through and finished them. I'd love to see some, books for our readers who have kind of grown up with the series, something for them to age into for sure. I mean, it's something I feel like we have to do at some point.
Yeah. So Jamie is asking for keychains. She'd love to have all the characters. Yeah, we offered keychains at the last launch. Who knows? It's something that we consider potentially doing. Elizabeth Thrash wants a backpack, which I definitely could see the Cthulhu backpack as being a fun thing.
Like the old pillow, like the pillow that we did with the blanket inside, just put straps on it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's what you can do, Elizabeth. Until we were able to fire up the backpack manufacturers, just take that blanket out of the pillow, throw some straps on it, you'd be all set. So Jason Bowen said, first, how many of the giant Cthulhu plushes ever made it to backers? I love mine, by the way, totally worth it. And have you ever considered doing another one at all, or of another character, for example? So yeah, famous in the Sears for Cthulhu lore is the 5-foot Cthulhu plush toy that is literally 5 times the size of our 12-incher. And these were both the most amazing thing and also the most terrifying thing from a business standpoint, because just getting them here and then getting them to backers was a logistical nightmare, because they were over the size that any shipping company would ship less than a couple $100. And that was just like, so no, we have not offered them again, but I think all 57 that were ordered did make it to the backers that ordered them, and the other 3 went to the team. This
is a true relic of the Seas for Cthulhu brand. Like, this is the kind of thing that we were completely out of our minds to do. It was so great, though.
Yeah,
I ended up giving mine to my nephew, who I'm assuming he still has it, but I definitely think about asking him for it back every once in a while. I can't imagine what condition.
Yeah. So the short answer is no, we have not considered doing them again. And with the way shipping prices have quadrupled, I have it would probably cost, I'm not kidding, it probably costs $20,000 to get these from our manufacturer this year. And so, yeah, it's not no time soon. Couple of questions about interactive stuff, games, figurines, board games. That's something that is definitely on the roadmap, right, Jay? We don't really have anything.
I mean, I have
announced, but
we do have a game concepted out that is sitting right behind me that needs to be kind of reviewed and fleshed out, and have math applied to it. Yeah, I mean, a game is definitely very high on my list of things to get going in the next couple of years.
yeah. These things take time, and we've tried to not just put stuff out just to put it out. But whenever we put out something, we want our audience to love it and have it last, right? And so when the C is for Cthulhu board game comes out, we want it to be a regular Candyland or Shoots and Ladders style, constantly playing kind of game that will be
the idea of putting a pronunciation guide in the back of the books is I mean, that's solid. I feel like that should kind of be an auto include moving forward. It's just fun, I think, to reference it back. If you're reading the book and you can reference the pronunciation guide, it's great for the kids, great for anybody who is reading it that doesn't have a clue.
Yeah. And so we don't have them in the hardcover books, but again, in that digital deluxe PDF, there is a page that we added in our last update of that book that has that has a pronunciation guide for you. But yeah, we'll consider, at the next reprint, maybe we include something there to help out the tongue twisters. Deborah asks, what's your favorite color Cthulhu that you've made, or which color would you like to make in the future? She'd love a metallic green Cthulhu. What's your favorite of these, Josh?
I like the black one. I like the red swirls on him. It just was really cool. It's actually, he's over in the corner of my room right now, just sitting over there. So that's my favorite.
Nice.
Did we ever offer the gold for sale?
Yeah, the gold is actually available. Yeah, it was unlocked at the very end of the last Kickstarter campaign.
I guess that one slipped by me.
So you don't have a gold? You don't have a gold down? I'll have to send
no, I do. I wasn't sure if that was just for fun or if we actually ended up making them. I love the glow in the dark and the rainbow. The glow in the dark blows me away. I mean, that thing's a light source. I've never seen anything glow so brightly as one of our glow in the dark plushies. I mean, every time I show them to someone, they're just like, unbelievable how bright they glow. And I just love it. I love the way it looks with the sleepy eyes.
Yeah, it was like a 2.5 year journey to get that product right.
Yeah,
it was a long delay, but we finally nailed on the right fabric. And
so great.
Yeah, for me, I'm actually like it's definitely not, it's an underrated one, but the USA plush, I just love the design. I love that it hits some of the colors that there, and the replacement of the stars for the swirls design on the top was just a brilliant concept by Greg, I believe, when we launched that. So yeah, love that one. Dennis, my man, hope you're ready for this. He said, is there any chance that my beloved camo G.I. Joe Cthulhu might be produced sometime in the near future? I would even be willing to settle for there being no kung fu grip. Well, so Dennis, we're going to have to hear from a lot more of our fans that camouflage Cthulhu is absolutely needed. But because we love you and we've had so much support, we did do this for you. We mocked up what a potential camouflage C is for Cthulhu plush. The Rambo headband really does does make it. And so, I don't know, crazier things have happened, right? So let us know if we should make Dennis's dreams come true. We need about 100 crazy folks to be willing to put one of these bad boys in their home or barracks
You know, one of the things that we've done in the past with the special colors is we've associated them with different charitable organizations, and this could be a Wounded Warriors thing or something like that maybe we could do in the future.
Yeah. So we're adding it to the possible. We're adding it to definite maybes, Dennis. But that's not for this launch because the turnaround time would be too slow and it would slow everybody else's rewards down, and we don't want to do that. But you know, we did want to take the little time to do this image for you.
Does Dennis know that I was a brand writer for G.I. Joe inside of Hasbro?
Oh,
true story.
True story. Yeah. So, you know, legit there. All right, we're gonna give away another baby plush. And this one is gonna go to Joanne. Congrats, Joanne.
Congratulations.
Yep. Congrats.
All right. Let's see. We got just a few more things here that I want to share with you. And let me see. Just checking some of the comments in the group. A leprechaun outfit on St. Patrick's Day. Yep, that would be a fun one. These are just some kind of grab bag questions. It's sort of speed round. If you knew you could only write one more Cthulhu book, what would it be, Jay?
Oh boy, on the spot. If I could only write one more, I would correct the mistakes that I made in the first book. I would do Seas for Cthulhu 2.0. That would be my final book. If I could only write one more.
What's your favorite Lovecraft tale?
My answer is different every time. This time I'm going to say Mountains of Madness, but it varies.
Yeah. And Josh is about to dive into that collection, so
yeah, I'll have to let you know the next round, but
nice.
I should have a pretty good feeling of what I like after that.
Yeah, and I actually want to give a shout out to my friend Simon Burks, who has just completed a graphic novel edition of The Shadow over Innsmouth. So that collected edition is on Kickstarter right now. And Simon gave us a nice shout out a couple days ago, and his project is doing amazing on Kickstarter right now. So that's one of my favorites, and the graphic novel adaptation is pretty cool too. Nice. Mike asks, has anyone tried to read some Lovecraft to the little ones? And if so, what was it, and what was the outcome, if any? Yeah, no. Seas for Cthulhu, the Cthulhu stuff, what we've done.
If you want to put them to sleep, you know, it can be heavy and a little boring. Some of the stories. So yeah, stick to our books.
That's right.
They're better. They're better for the little ones.
Yeah. So this is another one because right up your alley, Jay. If you could write a Call of Cthulhu RPG scenario in the Seas for Cthulhu universe, what would it be about? Now I know you are familiar with the RPG scene and all of that, but yeah, not sure that we've thought through this one yet.
What class would he be? What class would Cthulhu fall into on this?
Oh, our monsters.
Yeah.
He's a bard. He's a traveling musician who spreads tales and uses wonderful sounds to enchant things. Oh my God, that's a great question. I can't think of anything to answer it. I'd love to see all these guys dressed up in Dungeons and Dragons costumes, like character costumes, though. Yeah,
that would be funny. Jessica White is excited about the plushies and asks, why didn't we get the title we deserved the night before Cthulhumas?
search engine optimization is the main reason,
Metadata.
because nobody would ever search for that on the internet. But that is an amazing name, Jessica, undeniably.
Yeah, and we went through a couple iterations, and the name was getting a little bit long, and I sort of, it was originally "Twas the Night Before Christmas," but like we had some like trouble with with the last book, Counting Colors and Cthulhu, being discovered because of that comma just in the title, and so like I was worried about like, well, if a comma is throwing people off, what's the apostrophe before the "twas" gonna do? So that was one of the reasons we trimmed it down a little bit to get it, just fit a little bit nicer. But yeah, titles are things that we spend a lot of times thinking about.
We have to be able to, people have to be able to find our stuff on the vast and deep internet. And so having titles that contain words that people are going to look for is beneficial to us and beneficial to our community, so that, these books can get into more people's hands.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what part of the reason why we put a C is for Cthulhu Holiday Tale, is because people like every day are searching. Like it's cool that the brand is such that people search every day for that phrase, C is for Cthulhu, and that's how they find us. So they'll hopefully find the new book as well. Rebecca asks, do you have any other book recommendations for babies and children in the horror department, especially other board books? I'll give a plug to another Comics Tribe book by our pal Joe Mulvey. Mummy's Always
fun.
Right. It's a lot of fun, and this is something they actually like we do make this one available on the C is for Cthulhu shop. But
great illustrations in here. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then I did also want to point folks on our website. We do have a recommended reads for C is for Cthulhu fans blog post that I did a while back. I'll probably do an update around Christmas time. And put that out again, but you can find that on our website as well, and we've got a nice list there, and so I'll make sure Rebecca gets that link as well. But anything else pop to mind? Monster books or silly books that your kids like?
There's the Hungry Cthulhu Pillar, I think. It's like a Lovecraft twist on the Hungry Caterpillar. That's one that sticks out.
Cool.
That one's good.
And I want to give another shout out to another Kickstarter that's going on by my friend James Powell. This is more for the kids in like the 8 to 10 range, but it's a series of comics, like spooky comics for kids, kind of like Goosebumps in that sort of neck of the woods, but just super high quality comics. They're all horror stories, but James has rules where like there's no guns, knives, or adults that are perpetuating terrible things on kids. It's really kids versus monsters and other issues that kids are dealing with like in grade school, and just well done series, and that's also on Kickstarter right now with us as well. So House of Fear can't speak highly enough about that for when they start to get an 8, 9, 10, that range. And we are partnering with them. If you back our project and House of Fear, James Powell, the author, is going to send you a Shoggoth print for a mail order Shoggoth.
That's fun.
All right. Speaking of bonuses, I do have a copy of Mummy's Always Right that I'm going to give away as a bonus here. So we'll spin that wheel. And Mummy's Right is going to go to Heather. Congrats, Heather.
Congrats.
Okay. And I know we were trying to keep this to an hour. I'm sorry. We had so many great questions come through. So I'm gonna we're gonna wrap this up shortly. Just got a little bit of more feedback that I wanted to share from our audience, from our fans, and then we'll wrap things up. But I appreciate everyone. Looks like Danielle and Tara, Jason, Who else do we have watching in here? Dennis, obviously. Rebecca K. Feedback from our fans. Gemma says, I'm loving being able to share the Cthulhu mythos with the younglings in my life. I'm looking forward to being able to read a Christmas Cthulhu story to them too. Awesome.
Thank you.
Megan says, all of your books have been an inspiration. My niece loves them and demands to read them on a daily basis. Thank you for bringing Lovecraft to another generation and for all your hard work.
Oh, thank you.
PR says, no questions, just excited to have a new book for the holidays. We own all of them. The Little Rainbow Cthulhu is my 2-year-old's favorite stuffy, and I'm looking forward to being able to dress him in a holiday suit this December.
Very cool.
And Savannah says, we have all the books at our house and a set at Grandma and Grandpa's house. Love you guys.
Like
make a gauze plush. That was from Mummy's Always Right. Definitely. Tara says, I'm very excited for the new book. I know my daughter will love it as much as the others. This series has been a real gem for us. I can't wait to see the Hastur plush completed, and my fingers are crossed for the deep one. And I wanted to just point out the deep one there. We did greenlight the deep one earlier today. So congrats. You're going to get your wish there. This is another bigger question from Michael. He asked, have you ever thought about developing an animated show for Seers for Cthulhu? And what do you hope?
Sure have.
And what do you hope for the progression for, say, the next 5 years? Yeah, so Jason sort of alluded to it. We've actually had some interest in an animated show from some folks in the industry and have done some work around what that might look like. It's too early to announce anything or say anything, and so it's still very much in the gestation phase. But Josh spent some time doing some really cool art for that, and there's a really nice pitch. So that's in the someday maybe category. But thanks for asking. Yeah, I mean, next 5 years, Jay, anything jump out at you that you want to just call out?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see us, in the next 5 years, do 4 more books and a board game to add, as far as like hard products to our stable, wider distribution, things like that. But I mean, this community has been so great, and the support that they give us is just so unbelievable. I hope that everybody stays connected and keeps contributing, keeps sending pictures of your little ones to us, with our products. It really brings a lot of joy to us.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, thanks everybody for just continuing to support us. So many, like a huge percentage of our backers are repeat backers for this launch, which is great to see. It's just that they come back and they come back for more. Naomi just wanted to congratulate us on the successful campaign. Her family's always happy to back these. The twins are excited about Hastur, and they're still excited about the deep ones as well. And they've been asking for a deep one for a while now. So yeah, we did greenlight the deep one, and so now this is a little outdated. We are even closer than that for the Shoggoth plush. So $70,000, folks. Tell your friends, tell your grandparents. Get some more, and we will make this turn Josh's favorite into an awesome plush toy.
I can't wait. I want to see that.
Yeah, to figure out how many eyes and tentacles we can get on that thing.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Speaking of my favorite plush, the USA plush, this will be the final giveaway for the night. So let's give away one of these bad boys, and let's set this up. Shuffle a couple times and spin the wheel. All right. This one is going to Tara Chilcott. Congrats,
a lot of Taras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Tara.
Yeah, thank you. We hope you find a good home for this one. And so, yeah, so that's our broadcast tonight. Josh, any final final words for the folks?
No, just appreciate everybody supporting the book, and I really hope they enjoy it. I had a lot of fun with this one. It's been a lot of work since it's about double the pages I did from the original, the last book that I did. But I'm really happy with it, and I can't wait to see what people think of it once they get it in their hands. So I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Well, yeah. And Jay, final thoughts for the audience?
Just thank you. Again, thank you for all the support throughout the years. You guys really show up for these Kickstarters. It's awesome. Thanks to Josh for all the hard work you're putting into this, man. I mean, the book looks incredible. Thanks to Tyler for, steering this ship day after day and handling all of the, all the tough stuff and all the business decisions and everything. He's also doing a great job. It's a good team.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun producing it and then seeing the pictures come back from the stuff getting out into the world. That's a big part of why we do this and why we're going to keep doing it. And so again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in, for the support on Kickstarter. We're last I checked, we were super close to 1,000 backers, which is amazing. We will be going until tonight tomorrow night at midnight. So Saturday, May 21st at midnight. You have until then to get your pledge in, get any add-ons that you might like. And we just want to thank you so much for tuning in, for watching this, and for supporting us as we continue to build this. All right. Thanks so much, everybody.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Guys.